Well, I think that a big part of the way that this game is differentiated from professional wrestling video games, the standard WWE product, is that the WWE product, at its core, the goal is to emulate the production values of a television show. So you have pyro, you have a video monitor, you have people entering, you have a shot of a limousine outside, like who's inside the limousine, what's going on, blah, 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 blah. They have all these production values and interview segments that they have to mirror and mock and emulate because that's what the license is. We feel the beauty and the freedom of backyard wrestling is that you get to, here's the world. You can play in it how you want to. We're not worried about who's on the telephone, who is he talking to, who's in the limo, how did they get into the building. In backyard wrestling, the world is the world. You're in it. Anyone in the environment is then either looking for trouble, as far as you're concerned, or looking to dish trouble out to you. So we feel the way the product is differentiated from WWE product is we don't have to mirror the production values of a television show. We're not restrained to a ring and a ringside area and a few backstage rooms. You can fight anywhere you want through yards, shopping malls, parking lots, gentlemen's clubs, rich kids' yard, the mansion, the slaughterhouse. We're not restrained by the limits of reality. So we can deliver people exactly what they want, which is a very visceral and open-ended fighting experience, exploration experience, with also a very good fundamental core wrestling mechanic, including a grapple, including a pin system, including over-the-top flamboyant characters, and including real-time damage. Characters, if I throw you through a window, you're going to take damage on your face, you're going to take damage, if I'm punching you in the face 100 times, my knuckles are going to split, they're going to bleed, and we feel that realism is something other people can't offer. However, that said, since we've announced this product, they've now been feverishly working to include blood, include damage. The new GameCube game has a level in a shopping mall. So at the very least, we've made an impact into how people are perceiving these sort of games, I feel. But we want to make a much bigger impact into changing the way people play them. I'm a huge wrestling fan. I love the wrestling genre. But I feel to some extent it's just being a little bit... It's become stale or redundant. There's only so many ways you could jump off the top rope, but you take the top rope and turn it into a 75-foot tall water tower, and you may have some other opportunities to do cool stuff. The damage models of backyard wrestling are really cool because we understand that fighting the way these characters are fighting, working and damaging the environment the way these characters do it is something that as much damage as you give, you're always going to take damage yourself. So it's a matter of, like I said, if I punch someone in the face, over time, my knuckles are going to split, they're going to bleed, my face is going to bleed. If I'm throwing you into fire and through tables and onto thumbtacks and everywhere else, your clothes are going to become tattered and torn. If I throw you into fire, they're going to become singed. And we feel that all these things are just added realism to the environment and to the feel of the game, that there's basically 3 different stages, from light to medium to like super, super heavy damage, as well as all the different areas. There's 16 different areas on your body that can take it. So the same way that a dude like Jamie Madrox from Twisted will have a tattoo on the back of his leg, if Jamie Madrox is thrown into some barbed wire, he's going to have a cut there. You know what I mean? And we just feel it gives you, it's more immersive, it's more realistic, and it's more like what happens. Well, what we wanted to do in regards to the characters that are in backyard wrestling, what we wanted to do was we wanted to take some of the real standout characters from the backyard wrestling series of home videos, which there are numerous ones. We have characters like M-Dog 20, Josh Prohibition, the Commissioner, Masked Horn Dog, El Drunko, etc. From Babes, you have Tylene Buck, Katana Baker, Sally from the Valley, Jezebel, etc. Then from Juggalo Championship Wrestling, we're like, well, let's bring in some of these other guys. Let's bring in Madman Pondo from IWA Mid-South, like Deathmatch Wrestling. Let's bring in Sabu, star of ECW and one-time WWE and WCW worker. Let's bring in Violent J and Shaggy Two Dope, who, in their own right, the 2 guys from Insane Clown Posse who've wrestled everyone from Stone Cold Steve Austin to The Rock to Eddie Guerrero to Dean Malenko to whoever they've been everywhere in the world in this wrestling business. They've wrestled in every major company. I myself am very proud of the Backyard Wrestling soundtrack. The Backyard Wrestling soundtrack is a really interesting soundtrack because of what it is that we're offering. As far as, today's rock that every kind of kid that's out there is listening to, whether it's Sum 41, Andrew WK, Insane Clown Posse, American Hi-Fi is kind of some of our core. Bowling for Soup, of course, too, is featured on this year's Warped Tour. We have a lot of the bands that are on the Warped Tour, a lot of bands from Ozfest. You go into the metal side of things, we have bands like Chimera, Spineshank, Biohazard, Sepultura, Anthrax. So just trying to offer wherever you're at musically, wherever you're at geographically, there's going to be a handful of tracks in this game that you're really going to appreciate. The stun system, we feel that, you know, part of the magic of wrestling is the suspension of disbelief, i.e., how do you get someone to be prone for X amount of time? Like, you're unconscious on a table for all the time. It's going to take me to climb up a ladder, stand up there and be like, come on, and then jump off. So it's like, all right. So what we decided is we wanted to come up with a stun system. But again, looking at, you know, there's other wrestling product out there where all I have to do is, here's my punch button, punch, 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 punch. Every time you come near me, I just keep punching you, punching you. Your energy bar goes to 0, now I pin you. And that's always bothered me as a wrestling fan, because professional wrestling doesn't work that way. It's always weighted and it's balanced, and the more you get the crowd going, you know, the more likely you are to win, sort of thing. So we wanted to do with the stun system was create a stun system that does not allow you to cheat by just punching someone all the time. And it basically forces you to go through several different categories of, are you really hitting in all these categories? So in other words, am I physically just straight striking you as much as I'm throwing you, as much as I'm slamming you, as much as I'm using the environment against you, as much as I'm jumping off stuff onto you? It's only when you're like freestyling it and working the environment every way you can. It's only then that you're going to get the really big stuns that allow you to then set up these ultimate. So it's a matter of, it's almost like gamer's pride, you know what I mean? Again, some games will let you win just by punching someone in the face over and over and over again, but we feel you want to give people a challenge. Because the thing is, we don't want you to come in our game and just pin someone in 2 seconds when you didn't even find out that you could break through the wall and burn the guy in the shower, you know what I mean? Those are hopefully experiences that people will enjoy once they find them, and we'd like them to take some time to find them and just enjoy the game. I'll give you one more recap then. So the stun system basically, the stun system for Backyard Wrestling allows you to, it rewards the player for maximum use of the environment, the weapons, and the move sets. If you're just striking someone with a bat over and over again, you're never going to get those big stuns going on. It's got to be a combination of strikes, of throws, of combos, of aerial moves, putting yourself at risk, and throwing objects. You have to just work the environment to the maximum level, almost like a skateboarding game trick system, in order to get the really big stuns going on. Create a Wrestler is something that from as soon as we announced the game, it was the first thing that everybody wanted. And when I say everybody, it's everybody from the magazines, everyone from the websites, who's obviously, you know, they're in our business. They're people whose opinion we respect. So instead of us trying to be all-knowing and, oh yeah, we know what you want better than you do, and just shut up and like it, and that's how it's going to be, we thought, let's give the people what they want. If they want Create a Wrestler, let's allot the man hours, let's allot the resources, and let's just do it. Backyard Wrestling is shipping this October for PlayStation 2 and Xbox. And we invite everyone to check out bywgame.com, pick up the free DVD, register for all the insider updates, one of which I'll be sending out later today, so etc. We're just super happy. We thank everyone for the support. And we hope everyone just takes a minute to check the game out. Whatever your reason is for checking it out, because there's 100 reasons, find that one reason and check it out, because it's one of the better games you'll play this year.